In the fall of 2022, I rode my motorcycle, a Suzuki V-Strom 650, through the 5 eastern Canadian provinces. I'll put a link to those videos here. In 2023, I've decided that I enjoyed my Canadian journey so much from 2022 that I want to visit Canada again in 2023, this time visiting the 5 western Canadian provinces. My goal, specifically, is to ride up and over the top of Lake Superior, cut across the Canadian Great Plains, and visit the national parks of Banff, Yoho, and Jasper in the Canadian Rockies. I think it should be quite a good trip, and I look forward to it. I hope that you'll join me on this journey, which begins right now.
It is the 30th of August, 2023, and I just crossed from the Connecticut border into New York. Today is a Wednesday, heading into a long Labor Day weekend in the next couple days. This trip is heading north and west, and I hope tomorrow, after camping tonight in New York, to make my way into the 6th Canadian province that I will have traveled in by motorcycle. That would be Ontario, and I'll make my way north and west, if plans work out, across the top of Lake Superior, heading west across Canada. That's the plan, at least. It rained this morning. It's nice and sunny this afternoon. I'm looking forward to this trip. I'm not sure how far west I'm going to make it. We'll see how my bike and my body holds out. I only have a couple hours to ride here this afternoon to get to my campsite. So first day is a short one. Tomorrow's going to be a lot longer, over 300 miles. Headed towards the Rip Van Winkle Bridge. So I think the route is going to take me across in order to cross the Hudson River. And there's the actual Hudson River. Well, that was interesting. On my left side, a buck came out of the woods, really large rack. He was dancing around in circles in kind of an open space. The car in front of me slowed down because he saw it, and I saw it too. I came almost to a stop because he was a big animal and posed a real threat. And then he finally straightened himself out and went back into the woods on the left side. Didn't end up crossing the road, but huge animal. And still, I guess it's early evening. It's only 4:18. Seems a little bit early for the deer to be out, but in any event, he was dancing around in a big circle. I'm not sure what he was doing. I'm getting closer to the campground, and the GPS is taking me off on some side road. Hopefully it knows where it's going. GPS has been known to be wrong before. I haven't seen any signs for the campground. I'm just blindly following the GPS. It was in the mid-80s Fahrenheit earlier today. A little on the toasty side. Now it's down to 71 degrees Fahrenheit. And with my ventilated jacket on, wind rushing over it, it's a little on the chilly side, believe it or not. I am out here in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty riding. Pretty area. On Route 30 right now, heading north. There we go, Max B. Shaul State Park. And they do have a park office. Let me go check in. I am headed back to Camp 8. Well, that's my site. Here's my camp. All set up. Grocery store is only 10-12 minutes away, so I'm going to go grab some groceries. Mostly for tomorrow morning. I don't know if I really need much for dinner, and come back to camp for the night. It's a nice camping area. There's only about 4 campers there. Lovely evening indeed. Looks like the grocery stores are outside. Yeah. Valley Market. How many little grocery stores like this I've been in over the last few years. I do declare it is sprinkling on me. Hopefully I can get back to camp before there's any kind of a serious rain event. Any shelter in a storm. Actually just sprinkling a little bit. Only about 2 miles from camp. And I've got a picnic table there, but it's not covered. So I figured I'd take advantage of this little pull-out. Conveniently has a cover to it. Grab myself a quick snack in lieu of dinner. And that'll be it for the day. So the end of day 1, 30th of August 2023. Here we go. Day number 2. Beautiful day. It's a quiet night here at camp, although the trees kept dropping acorns all night. Came clattering down from quite a height. But if that's the worst I'll encounter on this trip, I'm pretty lucky. I left at 8:35. GPS is saying I have nearly 7 hours of riding. I have to cross the Canadian border today. Last night I was looking at the border crossing, and it was fairly backed up going from the United States into Canada. Hopefully that doesn't happen to me later on today. I think I projected that I would get to the Canadian border around noontime today. But it's supposed to be good travel weather. 58 degrees right now, so I do have a couple layers on. Town of Skohari, 1712. Old town. Herkimer County. $169 north. This route is listed as the Southern Adirondack Trail. I am now on the Black River Trail, Route 12, headed north. Still have probably 70 to 100 miles to get to the Canadian border. Metal Grate Bridge. Thank goodness there's not much crosswind. We'll be floating all over the place. Just cleared Canadian Customs and Immigration. A large entry point, but not terribly busy. I got right in. Welcome to Canada. 2 years ago today, I started my Four Corners tour. And a year ago today, I left for my trip up to Canada in the 5 eastern Canadian provinces. So this is province number 6, Ontario. I filled up with fuel before I crossed the border. I don't have a good sense for, in the next day or two, how remote the area will be that I'm going to be riding through. So I'm going to have to pay attention to my fuel. Maybe it's not going to be an issue. I think once I get back over to the Great Lakes, because I'm kind of cutting the corner across north of Toronto, once I get onto the road that kind of circles the Great Lakes, I don't anticipate any issues. But for the next day and a half, kind of going up into the what looks to me to be a fairly remote area, but maybe I'm wrong. That's gorgeous. This afternoon's ride has been very much like this. few little towns that I've gone through. Roads are in good shape. Not a lot up here. Just crossed the boundary line for Bon Echo Provincial Park. So I'm getting really close now to my destination. Fairly sizable park. I stopped at the gatehouse, and apparently there's another gatehouse a kilometer back. I'm in the Midway campsite. Looks like they have multiple campgrounds here. My GPS took me in the wrong way. Should have known better. I passed the main entrance, and by the time I saw it, I was going past it, and the GPS was indicating only another couple miles up the road was the entrance, but that didn't look like it at all. It wasn't marked as such. So I ended up turning around, and I think this is the right spot. All checked in. And here we are, 2:48. Supposed to be 100-foot high cliffs over here. I'm now headed northwest on Route 28, headed towards Georgian Bay, and Grundy Lake Provincial Park is still 379 kilometers away. I did check last night, there was some fuel on the way, so I shouldn't run into a fuel problem, assuming that that gas station is still there. Have a half a tank. And the speed limit here is 80 kilometers an hour, so it's below highway speeds, which improves my gas mileage pretty dramatically on this bike. A little bit of traffic out here, but not much. Mostly trucks. It seems like the traffic I've seen is all headed eastbound. I haven't seen anybody in my rearview mirror or up ahead. Gorgeous morning. It dropped down last night fairly cold. It was like 42 degrees Fahrenheit. It surprised me a little bit. I was comfortable in my sleeping bag, but it was hard to get out of the sleeping bag in the morning when it's that chilly. 12% downgrade here. Beautiful country. Roads are in phenomenal shape. I just crossed into the boundary line of Algonquin Park, which is a huge park here in Ontario, and I'm passing all kinds of warnings about moose crossings. To be really on the alert here. I think it's like for the next 24 or 30 kilometers. Beautiful park. There is Mizzy Lake. Goodbye to Algonquin Park. Now north of it. Still have 203 kilometers to go, about 2 hours 20 minutes. I am coming up on a 600 miles, which is the interval for servicing my chain, so I'm going to try to find a gas station up here and put the bike up on its center stand to clean and lubricate the chain. It's one thing I dislike about chain-driven motorcycles is long distance journeys. It's a pain having to maintain the chain. My two prior bikes were shaft drive, which you drive practically forever without having to change anything other than every 20 or 30,000 miles the oil in the final drive. Topped off my fuel tank and I cleaned and lubed the chain at a gas station. Still have 156 kilometers to go. Nice little town here. Traffic is definitely picking up for the holiday weekend. The amount of traffic going into Algonquin was just incredible, with the number of kayaks strapped to the top and campers. I'm glad I made reservations for the next 3 nights, 'cause at one of them I think that I was like the last open spot that I saw, so I would not want to be trying to find a campsite, just like last year when I went up into Nova Scotia on Labor Day weekend. They take it as seriously here in Canada as they do in the United States in terms of families getting away. Campground last night was just filled with families with young kids. Quick stop at a combined grocery store, hardware store. Not sure if I've ever done that before, but there's like very few grocery stores close to my destination. I'll probably save myself an hour plus of riding. Point Upper Hill, pretty little spot. Grocery store wasn't too bad, it's a couple aisles. Grundy Lake Provincial Park. 1 kilometer. Are in bear country. This place is going to be hopping. It's Friday night, beginning of a 3-day weekend. Looking for white spruce 14. There we go. Dinner at Grundy Lake. Steak, tomato, milk, butter crunch dark chocolate, dessert, and still had some bread from yesterday, so I brought that along.